Hello, wow, look at that. Look at that light, that's very bright. Today I'm trying, once again, to shoot a silhouette of the sun setting behind the BT tower. We did this for the first time, or we tried to on the live stream, when we had too many clouds. Then yesterday I tried it again, but the position wasn't accurate, so I messed up my calculations. Today we're closer to what I had in mind initially for Friday's live stream. Let me run you through what I've got set up. There's quite a few cameras set up, as you can see. We have a GoPro for behind the scenes shots, extra things. This is a P1000 trash camera, absolutely hate it, but it's got a crazy long lens. Trusty 7200 paired with a Sigma lens adapter on the S1, and it's all mounted with a ball head and a clamp, and it is secured via these Peak Design straps to this tripod and also to this insanely heavy gear trolley cart thing. Shooting in aperture priority with auto ISO at a 6-second interval. This one's going to be shooting video, and that is the FZ82. Lovely little bridge long lens camera that's going to shoot a time lapse at a 2-second interval. And at the top we have a GoPro Hero 8. We are shooting the sun, which is going to set right there behind the BT tower, or the British Telecom tower. And initially I thought it was ruined because of the clouds, but we might get lucky and we might actually get a lovely time lapse out of it. So let's begin. Let's begin with talking about some of the challenges that come with this shot, because the idea might be simple, you know, shooting the sun setting behind a tower, but the execution has so many difficulties, so many challenges that come with it. First of all, this only happens twice a year. From where we live here in the Clan Palace, this alignment happens today, and it happens in about 6 months after the sun has passed the summer solstice and is on its way back to the city, from our point of view. Then there is the problem of the exposure. You cannot expose for the surface of the sun and anything else. The sun is freaking bright. So you have to make a choice what you're going to expose for, either the sun or the foreground, the silhouette. Then there is the focusing. Hyperfocal distance on this scale means that even though the BT tower is 5 kilometers from here, it's still either the tower in focus or the sun in focus. We're talking crazy distances here. There's calculators and stuff for that. But yeah, I had a look and turns out you can't get both in focus from this distance. Then there is camera shake. When you're shooting with super long lenses, even breathing on the camera will shake the image. So working with a bunch of tripods, that makes everything shake, and you have to stop that from happening, otherwise your shot is ruined. Then there's the weather. Can't control that, you can just get lucky, and today I got lucky, but 2 days ago, or when I tried to do it on the live stream on Friday, super unlucky, didn't see the sunset at all. Then one of the questions I get asked the most is, how do you deal with the sun not melting your camera? When you're zooming in on something that is so bright, you will destroy your camera sensor. So now that I have talked about all these challenges, let's have a look at the solutions. First of all, for the timing and the position, I use an app called Photopills, which is one of my favorite apps in the whole wide world for time-lapse or normal photography as well. It allows you to plan your photo missions down to the finest detail. Have a look on screen here how it works. I've put a pin on my house. I'm not showing you where I live exactly, but it shouldn't be too hard to figure out if you know East London a little bit. You can really pinpoint with extreme accuracy where the sun is going to be. Now, this is where I messed up for the live stream on Friday. I had messed up. I thought I needed 1 degree of altitude on that alignment, but I actually needed 1.5 degrees, which is what we got today. Yesterday, I think we got like 1 and a bit degree, but yeah, today was absolutely perfect. So Photopills for all your photo and time-lapse planning. Then camera shake. How do you stop that from happening? Well, first of all, I don't have a janky tripod. I have a very sturdy clamp. It's a K-clamp or a Manfrotto super clamp, I believe they're called, with a ball head in it, with a heavy camera on it. With all that being super tightly secured, I am still walking around super softly and gently. Even like, you know, shooting with my camera, I make sure that there is no chance that I accidentally bump the camera or anything, because one slip up, one mistake, and you ruin the entire sequence. You're working with small, razor thin margins here. Like, that would have ruined the shot. The margins are minuscule. You cannot adjust your exposure or your framing as soon as the sun enters the frame. And when the sun is this big and your frame's only that big, there's not much room to move in, to fix things. So you gotta nail it from the first go, which is why I'm so grateful that I had a proper tryout yesterday. Then I wanna shoot a photo, I wanna shoot a video, and I also wanna shoot a time lapse. So the solution to that is I just set up multiple cameras. I'm lucky that I've got a bit of a problem, or maybe it's not a problem, doesn't really matter. I've got a lot of cameras and I use a lot of them most of the time. For the weather challenge, you can't do anything about that. You just got to get lucky. And luckily we live in this amazing place, so we can wait for these moments to happen. So I am very #blessed indeed. There's one challenge that I didn't talk about earlier, but if you have a warm camera and lens, which is a bunch of metal and glass, and you open up the window and it's cold outside, that temperature difference will actually shrink or expand depending on what the material is, the material in your camera and your lens, and it will misalign your focus. So from the start to the end of your sequence, it's entirely possible, which I think is what happened on the 7200 here, that your focus will shift ever so slightly. So the solution to that is to open up the window more earlier, and make sure that your camera and your lens and all your gear is acclimatized to the temperature. And then for the burning of the sensor or the melting of the camera, I use ND filters. I've gotten a bunch of ND filters from Polar Pro, which I'm super happy with. And I also have some older filters. I think they're Firecrest ND something. I use 10-stop filters for early on in the sequences. Today was super hazy, so I actually only ended up using a 5-stop filter near the end. I don't really know how many stops you need, but in the middle of the daytime, I found that 15 stops of ND filters in front of the 3000mm lens is enough to make sure that the sensor isn't entirely ruined, I guess. And then the one thing that I have found is to be the most useful with these things is to practice. Even though I absolutely despise shooting on the P1000 because it is the biggest... I'm not even going to say it, but it pisses me off, this camera, because it's so unintuitive to use and unuser-friendly. I've shot much more on it and I'm much better with it now. That being said, I stand by my original video. It is a horrible camera to use. And all the Nikon P1000 fanboys and girls that are coming into the comments of that video, it's a trash camera. I'm sorry. It could be so much better with one firmware upgrade. Anyways, I might make a follow-up video about that soon because it's pretty impressive how many people got very angry with me making that video. Anyways, after I shot everything, I offload the footage, I color grade it in Lightroom, and I edit it in After Effects to create these video files. And in the end, we get some nice results, and I guess I'll put them on screen now. If you have any questions or any future video requests, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much to the members and the patrons for making these videos and the live streams on Friday possible. And that's it. See you soon. Bye. Hope you enjoyed that. If you like time-lapse and you would like to learn more about how to plan, shoot, and edit world-class time-lapses, why not check out my ebook, The Ultimate Time-Lapse Guide. It's been renewed and expanded, and it's the best thing I've ever made. And I also have a weekly time-lapse newsletter called The Time Warper Weekly. Check it out. Links are down below. Thanks for watching.